Steve, it's so tight at the top, so how important is it to bounce back with a win this weekend?
Well, we were unfortunate, I believe, last week at Burnley. I thought in the second half in particular we were the better team, and we simply made a mistake and got punished. And that's what this league is. And, you know, I've said before, you know, that the Tickney bit is about to start on us, and it's not far off now, and all to play for. There's 4 or 5 teams all there, and, but we're looking forward to the challenge and enjoy the challenge. Blackburn are playing very well at the moment. I've got good reports on my desk, but they played very, very well at Middlesbrough last week, and so we understand it's another championship game, and if we can get a result, then terrific.
Jordan Rhodes recently moved on. Does it make it a good time to play them?
Well, when I look at Danny Graham we had here, and the boy Watt they've taken in, they're both very, very good players, of course, over the season or over the campaign. And of course, you're always going to miss a Jordan Rhodes, but you know, with this squad of what I've just seen, and watched the videos of them, then they're a decent side. So I would think inevitably they're going to miss Jordan Rhodes. Who wouldn't when you've got a centre forward who scores 20 goals a season? Of course, he's going to take some replacing, but that's for Blackburn, not for me.
Middlesbrough have stuttered a little bit of late at the top of the table. Does that highlight just how competitive it is up there?
Whether you say stutter or whether you've lost a couple of games or they're going through a lean spell or whatever, then it is what it is. And the one thing for sure, you're not going to win every game. You know, there's going to be times where you lose a couple. You know, you've got to be in and among the pack, you know, when it gets down to single figures. That's our aim. Still, with 18 games to go, is a lot of games. The big thing too is that we've got 12 weeks to play them. 2 of them are international breaks. So we're effectively playing 18 games in 10 weeks, which is going to be a big ask. And that's when it becomes a bit of a lottery. But all to play for. The championship is always exciting. Nobody can predict it. And I think that's always the beauty of it.
2 managerial casualties this week in the championship. Paul Clement at Derby and Neil Redfern at Rotherham. Yeah. Do you feel like owners are too quick to make a change?
Well, I'm going to have to say yes, because I'm a manager at the end of the day. And somebody told me I'm the 5th longest serving in the whole country after doing 3.5 years here, which just shows how crazy the industry is at the moment. And the championship seems to bear the brunt of it these days because of the huge financial windfall that lies at the bottom of it. And then that becomes a huge pressure on a manager. But I think these days, I mean, the lower divisions, we hear about the championship and we hear about the Premier League, of course, because they're high profile. The fallout in the bottom 2 divisions and in the conferences is just as bad, if not worse. So it's a really, really difficult time for managers in particular. And of course, these days now you have to make an impact. And there's this big myth going around, you know, that, well, another manager goes and he'll get back on the roundabout shortly, and it doesn't happen. You know, first-time managers, I think it's something like 65% now, never get another job. So they work really, really hard, get big qualifications, coaching stuff, this, that and the other, which can take somewhere like 5-6 years. And they get an opportunity and they're gone within 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So it is the way the industry is at the moment, but crazy and bonkers, but we're all still desperate to stay in there. And longevity seems to be a thing of the past, if you're being honest, but it's the way the land lies now in football, unfortunately.
Nick Powell you've brought in. How's he settling in, and how big a player can he be this season?
Well, there's no doubting about his talent, and I think he's heard that probably a few times. He's come in and he's only probably trained 10-12 days after a calf injury picked up. He's had a week's training with us. Looks a very, very good player. And obviously over the next few weeks I'm sure he's going to enhance us. That's what we've brought him in to do, to give us a hand. At the moment I've got everybody fit, which is unheard of. Every single member of my team, which is good, don't get me wrong, every single member of the squad is fit. So I've got 22 players for 11 places, so all to play for.
Just one for me. If we look at the the Championship rather, and you know, people say that Middlesbrough have had this blip and they're still top. Has it panned out in much the same way that you would have anticipated before you kicked a ball this season?
Well, I always expected Middlesbrough to be there. Obviously, with the spending power of Derby, I expected they to be there. And then you're hoping that ourselves and Burnley. So Brighton have been, after the way they finished last year, and where they finished last year, have been the surprise package, if you like. But nothing really surprises me in the Championship, because it's the consistency. It's the consistency that you look for frequently. And of course, people are playing in the Championship because they can't sustain it all the time. That's why they play in the Championship, if you like. And it's the ones who can sustain it over a level period are the ones that usually come out on top, i.e. playing well. Confidence is a big thing. And when your team's confident, you don't think you're going to get beat. And then all of a sudden you lose a couple of games and then you think, when's the next win coming from? So it is what it is. I think it's still all to play for. Is there somebody going to come from the pack and put a run together? That's possible. But at the moment, all to play for. And we're in and amongst it. So we're still there, which is good.
One in the pack that looks like you might put a run together is Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're a dark horse, yes. Then again, you know, you have to, you know, you look at how they've invested in their team, and their squad is, I said it 6 months ago, it's the best Sheffield Wednesday team I've seen for a few years, which can only be good for Sheffield. And certainly they've added to that team too, so they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. They could be the ones. We've still got them to play, so all to play for.
Thanks.
Steve, how difficult will it be to pick a team for tomorrow, given
Very.
that everybody's fit?
Very.
And at the end of the day, that's what you get paid for, is to pick a team and make sure that you've picked right and you win. I have to say, I didn't think we did much wrong last week. I couldn't see us getting beat, so I won't be making wholesale changes, because the team is, up until then, had won 6 on the spin, if you want, and we had an unfortunate result last week, so I don't think there'll be wholesale changes.